Hello and welcome. My name is Barnabas. I hope you're having a good time. You're having a good and wonderful weekend, or you already had one, and wherever you are, you're keeping safe. Well, some of you have been asking me this big question, bro. How do we come? How do we make it to Australia? What kind of visas options do we have? Some of you have even been asking me, Barnabas, get me a job. How can you get me a job there? No, I want to assure you there are lots of jobs here in Australia, and the government is always looking for people to fill in the workforce. But the issue is how to get here. What's the best way to be able to get here? And so today I'm going to try and answer this question. What is the easiest, the cheapest, the fastest way to make it to Australia? I'm going to try, and I've done a bit of my research, and so I'm going to give you a brief summary of the categories of visa options that you have and give you just an overview. And my objective is to just enlighten you on the options that you have. And once you have this information, then we can continue and engage on the specific type of visa that you qualify for. But before we jump right into it, I would like to ask you to click that subscribe button and help me to bring you good content. I'm really committed. I'm pushing myself to be able to work hard to bring you contents that you enjoy. And again, before I give you the categories of visas options that you have, I want you to have these 4 statements at the back of your mind while we look at this. These 4 statements are really important, so have them at the back of your mind as we look at this. Number 1, Australia immigration is the most straightforward kind of system that I've ever seen. Okay, the visas application and the granting of visa, that process is the most straightforward of all these countries that I know of. For example, if you want to go to the US, you have green card, you have to go for an interview, it's a lottery, there are so many factors involved. But Australia, it is straightforward. If your papers are correct, if your papers are right, you are 100% sure you're going to get your visa. It's straightforward. There's no picky ponky in it. Hakuna. It's the most straightforward. Number 2 is that the government is always looking for workforce. Okay? Every year they put a list of the kind of skills they're looking for. So there is always need for workers. Okay? There is always need for staff to come. Number 3, Australia is a huge country. It's a massive space, but the population is very small. So there is lots of places you can settle. You don't have to settle in the city. You can settle in regional areas. You can settle in the cities as well. Everyone is here. It's a multicultural nation. So it's a very livable country, according to my opinion. Lastly, number 4 is that the younger you are, the better. To be honest with you, you will have lots of options when you are 50 or 45 years and below. Okay? Ukiwa young, you have lots of options. But if you are above 50, you still have some options. But there are visas that you won't be able to apply. Why? Because the government doesn't want to bring retirees. The government wants to bring people who will come into workforce and work for a while, work for a long time. But you see, if you come when you're 50, you'll probably just, your active work will be like 10 years or so. And so the government doesn't want to do that. So remember those 4 things. Number 1, the migration process in Australia, very straightforward. No kubatisha kuna. It is straightforward. Your papers are good, you're good to go. You'll be here in no time. Okay? Soon as your papers are correct and you pay for your visa, you'll be here in no time. Number two is that the government is always looking for people. Australia is so huge. There's a lot of work here to do. Every year, they will always want to bring people. And number three is that this place has everyone here. It's multicultural. Number four is that the younger you are, if you're below 50, the better, the more options you have. So with that in mind, let's look at the categories now. Number one, we have visitors visa, okay? Visitors, watalii, watu wanakuja, watalii, but I'll explain. It's called a visitors visa. So there are different types of visitors visa, but I want to major in two common ones. They're very common. Number one is visa that, you've been called by a relative or a friend. They write you a letter, an invitation, and then, with a good reason to visit. And you just pay for your application and come. Process is very short, takes a few days. But the problem with that one is that you'll not be able to work. Okay, it's just a visiting visa. So you can come, look, survey, and make a decision. And who knows, while you're here, something might happen, some opportunities might come up, and you can apply. Number two, the second common category kind of visa under the visitors visa is what we call holiday work visa. Now, this visa allows you to come to Australia for up to 12 months, up to 1 year. And you have unlimited work hours, so you can work as long as you have. As I said, there's always lots of work. Kuna kazi hapa. Kuna kazi mingi sana. In the factories. I'll do another video on this. Lots of jobs. Even white collar jobs. Zico, you can come and work in. Within that 12 months, you can come and do a white collar job if you don't want to do this other kind of jobs. I will do specific a video on jobs. So in visitors visa, those two are common. Okay, their process time is very short. We are talking about days. Okay, apply days, visa yako imekuwa approved, and you're in the plane you're coming. Okay, so it's very quick, the quickest. Okay, but holiday work visa, you will be allowed to work here for 1 year, and then you can go back and come again. You can come multiple times. But also while you're here, there are other opportunities that can open up and you can get, so you don't have to go back. Okay, that's the first category, visitors visa. Number two is students visa. Now for students visa, and I want to be honest with you, majority of people that I've met, migrants, came through students visa because it's easier to apply, it's quick. The government is always, while they're also looking for workforce to come and work, they're also benefiting from the fees that you will pay as a student. Okay, so it's a very easy, once you identify the course and the university that you want to come to, the process is very quick, and then you'll be coming to Australia. While you're here, and if you come on a student's visa, these are the things, these are the benefits of the student's visa. Number one, you can come with the family, entire family, your wife, your husband, and the children. Okay? So while you're here with your entire family, your spouse can work unlimited hours. Okay? Get whatever job you qualify for. You can work unlimited. Okay? You yourself, who is a student, is also allowed to work, but maybe regulated hours, maybe 20 or 25 hours a week. Okay? But it's still good time, good amount of money that you'll be able to raise. Okay? And your kids can come here and start studying and go to school and everything. Okay, so it's a very, very good visa, and it's a visa that people come with. They settle down after they graduate. They are given a bridging visa. They're not they because they now have a degree here or a master's, and they have worked here. Government doesn't want to let them go, so you're given a 2 years bridging visa, and then after that you work on your papers to become a permanent resident and towards a citizenship. So it's also a very good visa to come with. The only challenge most people think is because of the fees. Okay, but remember the fees. If you only have 1 year or a semester's fees, I might be wrong on this, but just a portion of that fees, just maybe 1 year or one semester fees, then you're good to go. You're good to go, because once you're here, you pay your first semester fees, you start work straight away, and you're able to pay for the rest of your course. And you're able to live here with your family and start a new life in Australia. So student's visa is also very good. It's also very good because while you study, you also get to know the system. You also get to know to learn lots of things. When you're in school, you learn lots of things. Okay, and these people also like the degree that you have acquired in Australia. You'll be able to get job easily with that. So student's visa is very, very good. Something again that I almost forgot about student's visa is it's a 5 years visa. Like it can be 4 years to 5 years visa. So it's a long time. It's a long time to stay here. After you stay here, you work your papers, and you're able to settle in Australia. Very, very good. You can invest in that. Fanya rambe, itisha rambe, watu wakuchangie. Family can raise money, funds for you, and help you to come as a student. And you can always get any course that you want. If you have a high school certificate, then you can be able to do it undergraduate, or if you have a degree, you can do a master's. You can always get a course here. Okay, I'll also do another video of that, courses that you can do, and cheap ones that will not cost you much. I will do another video that later on. Process time for students visa is a few months. Okay, it can take a few months. Again, depends on how fast you put your papers together. Okay, and that you can get advice later on that. So students visa is very important. So a huge percentage of immigrants come to Australia because they were students. Okay, and they settle here, and they make the papers. They do their papers. They become permanent residents, and they eventually become citizens if you want. And yeah, so it's a very good visa. Number 3 is what we call skilled or work visa. Okay, there are about 22 or more categories under this skilled or work visa. Okay, but I don't want to go into details. I'm just giving you an overview. So this work or skill visa, this is the way it happens. As I mentioned earlier, every year the government finds the shortage in workforce, the shortage that they have, okay, every year, and they prepare a list. So in this list, they will give you the kind of skills that they're looking for, kind of workers that they will look for within that year. Okay, so it's in this skills list that you will go and check and find if you qualify for, in any of those, in terms of your education, in terms of your work experience. Very important, those two. Okay. Then you apply a work visa, or you apply your skill to be assessed, and then government will invite you to apply for a visa. Okay, the visas here, most of them are starting for 4 years work visa to permanent resident. That's where you come and stay forever. Or if you want to again process your way to become a citizen, then this is the way it goes. So you go and look for your skills that suits you. You apply, government invites you to apply for a visa. Once they assess that yes, you qualify, and then you're given a visa to come. Okay. The good thing with this kind of visa is you come straight away. You don't need to go to school or to study, and you come with your family, entire family. They become permanent residents, and there are other benefits that I will talk about later on when you become a permanent resident, and you also stand a chance of after staying here for a while, then you become a citizen. Skill or work visa process also depends on how fast you put your papers. I have friends who applied this, and within 1 month, within just a month, they were already up here. Okay, they already come, because you're given a list of things to look for. Look for, identification documents. Look for this. Do your medicals and everything. And as soon as you do those and they are correct, they are right, they don't have emails going back and forth asking for documents. The sooner you put your papers together, the sooner you'll be able to get the visa and come. So again, this visa is very, very important. This visa, work visa, there are, as I said, 22 categories. Okay, but that's how it works. You go and check your skills in that list. If you find one that you have in terms of your studies, in terms of your work experience, then you can apply and you'll be assessed, your qualifications are assessed. And if the government finds that you're qualified, then you're invited to apply for the visa, and then your visa is processed and you come. Okay? And once you're here, you work unlimited. You can work anywhere depending on the kind of visa. There are others that you can only work in a regional town, others you can work in main towns like Melbourne. So this visa, again, you come with your family, both of you as a couple can work, and you stay here, permanent residents, and you can go ahead and become citizens. It costs a little bit more than visitors visa, but it costs a lot less than the student's visa. Okay. Something that I need to clarify about skill visa. I know when somebody says skill visa, you start thinking about big jobs, like being a pilot. You just think about office or white collar jobs. No, there are lots of other jobs here. I will make a video on that too. Acting, plumbing, carpenters, all these skills are needed here. In fact, just to give you an example, I went through that list for 2022. The government require here carpenters, tailors and designers, and so on, chefs, cooks. So it's not just white collar jobs. It's not just the accountants. It's not just the surveyors. It's not just the pilots. No, all these skills are required. If you can look at that list, then you will find that even mechanics, even carpenters, all these kind of jobs. Watu wa mjengo, all those are skills. All those are skills, and I will do a video on jobs and how much you pay in Australia, and you will be shocked to know that some of these white collar jobs pay a lot less compared to watu wa mjengo. We've talked about visitors visa, we've talked about students visa, we've talked about work and work or skill visa. Number 4 is what we call humanitarian or refugees visa. This is where if you can prove that you're going through some persecution, you're in where you are in your country, then you're able to apply for this kind of visa. Whether it's domestic violence, whether it's family disagreement, whether it's war in a nation or in a community or a clan, just some kind of persecution, then you can apply for this kind of visa. This kind of visa is just like permanent residents. They come over here, refugees, or yeah, that kind of people. They come here. The government treat them very well, very well. Okay, you're not treated any less. Government treats you very well. They are assisted to settle. Some of them who don't even can't speak English, or coming from French-speaking nations or other languages, they're assisted. They are put into schools to learn English, and they're integrated in the community. And when you come with this kind of visa, you are able to work unlimitedly. You're able to become permanent residents and do your way to becoming citizens. You come with the entire family and you're settled in Australia. So this one is also very good, so long as you can prove that you're going through some persecution. Okay, so that's called refugees or humanitarian visa. Last but not least is what I call other visas. There are other categories of visas that are not very common. But after doing some research, I realized that there are other visas that are also easy to come with. Let me just give you an example. I found out that if you have a special gift, a special talent, and it's proven, you have had awards, it's been recognized, then you can be able to apply for a certain kind of visa. There are few other visas that people have are not very common and not very exploited, but you can be able to come through such kind of visa. In conclusion, after having been here for a few years now and interacted with many people, immigrants from different nationalities, and people who have come as students, others PR, others have come as refugees with different kind of visas, I am convinced that if you're committed, if you really want to pursue coming to Australia, then you can make it. Okay? If you're really committed, they say where there is a will, there is a way. If you're really committed that you want to make it to Australia, then you can make it. Okay? Ask yourself this kind of question. Do I really want to come, or I'm comfortable where I am? Number two, what's my age? What the options I have? What's my family setup? Are you married, young family? Yeah. What's the best for you with that kind of setup? Okay? Ask yourself, am I willing to look for resources? Am I willing to commit resources? My time to look for the best option, my finances, if there is, you can even raise some money. You can even, if you have some kind of income, you can save to be able to if you have the right information, you set aside some savings and be able to, because it's an investment. It's like an investment. You're coming to work and probably some jobs that will pay better than what you're doing or what you're having right now. So it's an investment. Willing to be patient. For example, if you come as a student, you will have to be patient to be able to work hard, to pay for your fees, to be able to work your way through to become a permanent resident. Are you patient enough? Are you patient enough to come and do something probably different from what your profession is? Something that is probably different but pay better. I understand that this video that I've made is highly summarized. So many visas going into hundreds. I've summarized them into only 5 categories. It's very summarized. I understand that. But I had to do this so that I give you some information so you can check and come back to me and say, this is what I feel. What do you think about this with my qualification? And I'm able to specifically one-on-one or whichever way will be fit, able to get back to you with specific information. Okay? So if that helped you, please, again, help me subscribe and so that I keep on bringing you good contents like this. Till next time, my name is Barnabas, the son of encouragement. Have a nice weekend wherever you are. May God bless you.